Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to receive you here in this opening ceremony for the 2021 Mexican section meeting of SIAM, Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics. We gladly receive you here streaming from the Mathematics Research Center in Mexico, Centro de Investigación en Matemáticas, CIMAT. It is a pleasure to welcome our honor table participants, Professor Victor Manuel Rivera Mercado, General Director of CIMAT.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Professor Susan Weeks, Executive Director of the Society for Industrial and Applied Mathematics, SIAM. Good morning, Professor Weeks.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Professor Gerardo Hernandez, President of the Mexican section of SIAM. Good morning, Gerardo.
Good morning. Thank you.
Professor Patricia Saavedra Barrera, Advisor of SIAM's Mexican section. Good morning, Professor Saavedra.
Good morning.
Professor Jorge Velasco Hernandez, Vice President of SIAM Mexican section.
Hi, good morning to all. A pleasure to be here.
Professor Irma Garcia Calvillo, Secretary of SIAM's Mexican section.
Morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you.
Professor Daniel Olmos Lisiaga, Treasurer of the Mexican section.
Good morning to all of you.
And Professor Miguel Ángel Moreles Vázquez, researcher here at CIMAT and head of the local organizing committee.
Good morning. Welcome to Guanajuato.
Let me introduce you to Professor Victor Rivera Mercado to welcome us to CIMAT and this meeting.
Thank you, Pedro. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure for me to be here, giving you the welcome to this conference. For us in the Center of Research in Mathematics, CIMAT, we are very proud to host this annual meeting of the Mexican chapter of the Society of Industrial and Applied Mathematics. I'm happy to be the first to speak because I can say a few things that may be repeated afterwards. But MexSIAM has a vision of promoting the application of mathematics to science, engineering, and to promote basic research in mathematics that supports application in Mexico and Latin America, as well as to promote multidisciplinary research in science and engineering involving mathematics. And finally, also to promote industries in Mexico that are working in science and technology. All these are principles in CIMAT that we share with the Mexican SIAM. In particular, in our postgraduate studies, I'm going to take off this for a moment just to be able to speak a bit louder. These principles are shared in CIMAT with the Mexican SIAM, as I was saying. In particular, in our postgraduate programs, we focus our efforts in order to train students to solve problems coming from any sectors and to be able to collaborate in multidisciplinary groups and to address problems in science and technology. In particular, in our renovated version of the Applied Master program, researchers from the areas of statistics, computer sciences, and pure and applied mathematics gather their knowledge to provide students with frontier knowledge to face these kinds of problems. So this conference will give access to our students, academics, and in fact to students and researchers from Mexico and around the world to get knowledge in the frontiers of applied mathematics. In particular, we count 15 parallel sessions in very interesting topics, such as geosciences and mathematics of planet Earth, climate modeling, computational geosciences, modeling of Earth, ocean, and atmosphere. Also, life sciences, epidemiology, COVID-19, very trendy topics for us at this moment. All these are developing other interesting topics in the parallel sessions, as for instance, analysis and partial differential equations, computational sciences, numerical analysis, data sciences, uncertainty quantification, and many other areas of applied mathematics. We have the honor to have 6 plenary speakers from many places in the world. And all this knowledge, all these topics are presented here so to have a broad idea of the many topics that are being developed in applied mathematics to provide information. How do we provide information? How do we provide mathematics? How do we use mathematics to solve problems? In particular, I want to mention that nowadays we produce a lot of data coming from many areas, but these data are only useful if it can be transformed into information. And I think that mathematical models and computer science are the good tools to transform that information into decisions. The pertinence and global impacts in the topics covered in the conference represent also an invitation to collaborate to face important problems in Mexico and in Latin America using mathematics and handling large databases. That is why we are very happy to collaborate in the organization of this conference, not only with MexSIAM, but also with researchers from UNAM, Universidad Autónoma de Coahuila, Universidad de Sonora, and the International SIAM, as well as to count more than 120 participants coming from more than 30 national international institutions. I would like to thank the organizers of this conference for putting together such a nice program. Gerardo, thank you. Miguel Angel also. Irma, who is connected. Daniel also connected, and Jorge. Thank you very much to all of you for making this nice conference. And of course, to MexSIAM for inviting us to hold this conference in CIMAT. We are very sorry we cannot welcome you this time in Guanajuato or in any of our offices in CIMAT, but all the participants are more than welcome to visit us in the near future and to integrate our vibrant academic life. This conference is one proof of that academic life that we have in CIMAT. Having said this, I wish you an excellent conference, and I hope that you will take advantage of the academic program to foster your research. Thank you very much.
Let me introduce you now to Suzanne Weeks, Executive Director of SIAM. Thank you for your words, Suzanne.
Thank you. Muchas gracias to the organizers for the invitation to add my welcome and good wishes to the participants and the organizers and the various speakers of the Reunión Anual de la Sección México de SIAM 2021. So at the start of this year, I became the 3rd executive director of SIAM. But I'm not new to SIAM, right? My first conference that I attended when I was a grad student, an international student, almost 30 years ago, was at the 1993 SIAM annual meeting in Philadelphia. And my first time presenting at a conference was, again, 2 years later at an annual meeting in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I, right now, don't just work for SIAM, but I'm also a member, and it's a society, of course, very close to my heart. So as evidenced by this meeting, SIAM is a wonderful international membership organization, a professional society, and and we just heard, it's dedicated to applied mathematics, computational science, data science, and modeling, right? And for almost 70 years now, SIAM has been able to convey the useful mathematical knowledge to the scientific community and professionals and the public to help implement mathematical theory for the practical, industrial, or scientific use. Since the start, Siam Goals, the main goals of Siam have remained the same and very similar to what we just heard about MexSIAM's goals, right? It's to advance the application of mathematics and computational science to industry, to engineering, to science, to society. Then it's also to promote the research that will lead to effective and good new mathematical and computational methods and techniques for those areas. I use the word good, not just in, like good and solid mathematics, but I also want to remind myself and remind everyone about, I just tossed in that word too. So we think about like the ethical implication of the work that we do. And we keep that in mind, especially when we teach our students, right? About ethics and how the impact of our work. The third thing that SIAM does is provides the media and the means for the exchange of information and ideas among our community, among mathematicians, engineers, and scientists. And I will also add personally, we want to see it also being communicated to the general public. And of course, this year was what a year, or not even the year, I say the last year and a half, we saw how important it is to be able to communicate about modeling, about mathematics, and what a role that played. And I know we're going to have sessions and talks about that during the MexSIAM meeting. So essentially, SIAM is about building community and the creating and the sharing and the application of knowledge and the development of expertise, okay? And I invite all the participants, all the attendees to make sure that you are a SIAM member, right? We have membership rates that make SIAM benefits accessible globally. So, and if you reside in Mexico, you have a special rate. If you're students, you can even join SIAM for free. If somebody says, hey, let's have this student, to recommend the student, or you're in a student chapter. When you join, make sure to join one or more of our 22 activity groups, right? We just heard we have many activity groups. I heard just now, we mentioned the mathematics of the planet Earth, uncertainty quantification, data science, computational science and engineering. We have 22 activity groups. Please do get involved, right? And we know SIAM does so much, right? We have publications, so please submit articles and to the SIAM journals. If there are books that you're interested in writing, let me know and I can connect you to our editors, our book acquisitions people, undergraduate research online, and of course, SIAM News. We had a wonderful article about getting to know the Mexico section of SIAM just 3 weeks ago, the June 2021 issue of SIAM News. And so we welcome those communications to learn about what's going on in your communities. And again, I've talked about membership. So we have activity groups, student chapters, and of course, SIAM sections. Conferences like we're doing now, right? We have conferences of our sections, activity groups, we have meetings, webinars, various programs and resources, and advocacy. One important thing that professional societies do is professional societies have the ability to represent our community as a group to public policy makers, decision makers that influence what happens with us. And of course, SIAM is also in partnership with other entities. So it was great to see and to read from the SIAM News article that this year MexSIAM is partnering with, throughout the year, the Mexican Mathematical Society, the Mexican Society for Operations Research, the Mexican Society of Scientific Computing and Applications, the Association of Statistics. All these are wonderful things, and it's wonderful to see those collaborations and the opportunities to develop our younger people and help grow them and mentor them through into practitioners, right? Whether they become educators, faculty members, researchers, or practitioners. This is wonderful. And of course, I will always keep talking about the community, right? Because that's what people come to SIAM for, or to professional societies for. So we certainly have universities represented. In Mexico, we have a thriving petroleum industry and the mining and financial institutions, medicine, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, engineering, all these things. SIAM, I love SIAM, okay, can you tell? And I love applied mathematics to get to work on these interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research projects and to really influence how the quality of our lives and what we do. Right? We talk about climate change or medicine, pharma, as I said. So make sure, I hope that the participants are really able to make good connections, right? For collaboration, for mentoring, for professional growth. This year, your section meetings topics are wonderful. I see geoscience. We talked about the COVID-19 pandemic and mathematical and theoretical epidemiology, and research that just helps us develop mathematical models and data science techniques to solve so many problems. I hope you do enjoy your plenary talks, the contributed talks, the parallel sessions, and posters from the grad students and researchers. I just want to end by saying thank you for all that you do for our community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is great and important to see the work that we do succeed, not just in Mexico, but worldwide. So on behalf of SIAM leadership, the SIAM staff, SIAM governance, thank you so much. And I appreciate you having me here today.
Thank you very much, Suzanne Weeks. I have the pleasure now to introduce you to Gerardo Hernandez Dueñas, President of the Mexican section of SIAM.
Thank you, Pedro. I would like to start by thanking Victor Manuel Rivera, General Director of CIMAD, Susan Weeks, Executive Director of SIAM, Patricia Saavedra from UAM, Advisor of the section, the MexSIAM officers, Jorge Velasco, Irma Garcia, and Daniel Olmos, the local organizer, Miguel Angel Morales, and Pedro Uribe for being here. Thank you. And I would like to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here and for participating in this annual meeting. At MexSIAM, one of our main goals is to offer a space for our colleagues and students to exchange ideas and present their most recent academic work. We do it through the organization of video conferences, summer schools, student competitions, parallel sessions at different conferences, and this annual meeting as our main event. The previous annual meeting was organized at CICESE, the Ensenada Center for Scientific Research and Higher Education. We had at that moment 82 registered participants, 64 talks delivered, 12 poster presentations, and a workshop. Due to the pandemic, this year we had to look for alternatives and pivoted this event into a virtual format. The response from the community has been very enthusiastic. I am very proud to inform that we had more than 140 participants, 94 contributed talks, 6 plenary talks, and 12 poster presentations. I would like to thank very much CIMAD for hosting the event, SIAM for their continued support, and the participating institutions CONACYT, NOMA, the multidisciplinary node for applied mathematics from the Institute of Mathematics at UNAM, Universidad Autónoma de Coahuila, and Universidad de Sonora. We are very happy to have received many applications from our students. This has inspired the creation of the first SIAM student chapter at UNAM. The chapter will bring many benefits to our students and will provide a space for them to organize conferences and invite professors and other students to participate in the chapter. The first set of officers are the students Angela Camacho, Cesar Rosales, Marco Chacon, and Ernesto Iglesias. After this ceremony, we will have a small session to present the chapter, and where 2 of the student officers will present their work. Professor Raúl Esquivel and myself will serve as academic supervisors for this chapter. We invite you to organize a SIAM student chapter at your university. It is not difficult to do it, and your students will find an excellent community to be part of. In the future, I hope the section expands its contributions to the community by organizing conference proceedings, for example, and other events. I thank you again for participating, and I hope you have a fruitful meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gerardo. I would like to ask Patricia Saavedra Barrera, advisor of the Siam's Mexican section, to address our audience.
On behalf of the Mexican Siam section, it is with great joy that I welcome you to MexSIAM annual meeting. In this occasion, we have the pleasure of having with us Professor Suzanne Wickers, the Executive Director of SIAM. MexSIAM had its first meeting in 2019 in Ensenada, Baja California, and it was a great success. During the closure ceremony, we could never have imagined that we wouldn't be able to hold the annual meeting the following year due to the pandemic. Now, even though most of us are vaccinated, we still cannot carry out this meeting in person because the graduate and undergraduate students haven't been vaccinated yet. We congratulate the local organizing committee for carrying on with the plan of celebrating this meeting, even in remote format. Applied mathematics started in Mexico around 1950, when Professor Salomon Lefschetz visited Mexico City from Princeton University several times. He influenced mainly the research in algebraic topology and differential equations. Applied mathematics had a much slower development than pure mathematics. In 1970, few groups were dedicated to the field, and they worked mainly in Mexico City, at UNAM University and Siemens. 50 years later, we are able to find consolidated groups, not only in Mexico City, at UNAM and UAM, but also in IMATE, Juriquilla in Querétaro, CIMAT in Guanajuato, IPICIT in San Luis Potosí, and in state universities in Coahuila, Nuevo León, Puebla, Sonora, Tabasco, Yucatan, to mention a few of them. There is also intense activity in this area, not only in mathematical departments, but also in research centers like CICESE, GeoCenter, INAOE, and engineering and geophysical institutes. Now we find researchers in almost all the important branches of applied mathematics, like optimization, numerical analysis, biomathematics, applied PDs, modeling and scientific computing, and even data science. We can congratulate ourselves now for the increase in human resources, and we can expect that in the future, we will retain what we had achieved. Unfortunately, last year brought a lot of uncertainty about the future. Given the impact of the pandemic in the country's economic growth, we are expecting important reductions on the financial federal resources dedicated to education, particularly in science. There is also a lot of uncertainty around science and technology policies after the changes made to the national system of researchers and the funding of basic and applied research. We will need a lot of creativity, imagination, and collaboration to face these difficulties. We need to build collaborations first with researchers from other institutions to sum efforts and resources, and then with researchers from other countries to compete for international funding from Europe or the United States. And in these crossroads, MexSIAM emerged as an interesting alternative that we must embrace and fortify. We have a lot to learn about linking our work with industrial and government needs. So once again, I congratulate the Directive Committee on MexSIAMs for their vision and work on maintaining this organization alive, and especially on their effort to unite the applied mathematics community through these kinds of events. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would appreciate if our Vice President of the Mexican section of SIAM, Jorge Velasco Hernandez, addresses with his message.
Yes, thank you very much. First, recalling what Suzanne said about the activity groups, really, my relation also to SIAM has been for a very long time, and in particular in mathematical biology, the activity group in life sciences has been really important for the development of the area, not only in Mexico, but everywhere, I think. I want to thank all those that make possible this event, the organizers, CIMAT Authority, SIAM, of course, Suzanne Weeks, the participants, and particularly and especially Gerardo Hernandez for his really enthusiastic and effective leadership. The other thing I want to say is, in my brief time, is to quote a little bit on this SIAM news report of early June that Suzanne was speaking about. And this is I quote, "The Mexico section of SIAM provides a broad and inclusive channel for the exchange of information and ideas." And as Suzanne mentioned, SIAM and the section of Mexico is essentially something that is geared to build communities, to put together people. And particularly, I want to refer to the very difficult situation that many of us, all of us, had during last year and still a bit this year. But there was an open letter from research institutes. It was called COVID-19 Advocacy. It was published in April of 2021 and is still in the webpage of SIAM. And I quote, "We are writing to express our concern about the future of the profession and the career paths of early career mathematical scientists. Our focus is on the impact of COVID on the careers of researchers with children and those who find themselves as caregivers, most often women." And this is one thing that this board is very concerned about and is committed to make a difference. We need more women in STEM activities. We need the incorporation of young researchers, young women researchers, particularly into SIAM, but because this situation of inequity in the access of women to education in STEM areas has to be solved. It's a global problem. It's not easy to solve, but little by little we can make a difference. And one of those is participation in SIAM, not only as members of the MexSIAM, but hopefully in post of leadership. Hopefully for the coming boards of MexSIAM, women will be in the leadership positions. And this is very important for MexSIAM and is just a way of contributing to this need for equity in research, in particular in applied mathematical sciences. With that, I finish. Thank you very much and enjoy this very interesting meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our Vice President. And I would like to ask now for Irma Garcia Calvillo, Secretary of the Mexican section, to address us with her words.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. Since its reactivation, MexSIAM has had important relationships with other Mexican and Latin American societies, looking forward to collaborate and promote applied mathematics. We have worked with the Mexican Society of Scientific Computation and its application, Mexican Operational Research Society, Mexican Mathematical Society, Mexican Statistical Society, and we have collaboration with SIAM Colombia section. In this section, we organize a contest for graduate students about applied mathematics. We have organized conference, colloquia together online due to the pandemic, as well as parallel sessions in Congress as seen in the National Optimization and Numerical Analysis School. All of this collaboration allowed us to enrich research and scientific divulgation of industrial and applied mathematics in Mexico. Thank you for your attention. Enjoy the meeting, please.
Thank you very much, Irma Garcia Calvillo. And now in charge of the treasury of the Mexican section is Daniel Olmos Lisiaga, who will address us now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pedro. Well, thank you all for joining us to this second MexSIAM annual meeting. It is to me an honor to be part of this working group, which I'm having the opportunity to know during these 3 last years. So to me, I think we're thankful to Siam to give us the confidence to show what we can do, what we can offer, but also what we still need to learn. Being said that, I just want to point out that MexSIAM belongs to everyone. First, it belongs to all of us. To this edition, there are 4 academic institutions right now involved in the organization of this event, which are UNAM, the Autonomous National University of Mexico, the Autonomous University of Coahuila, the University of Sonora, and CIMAT, the Mathematics Research Center, which this tells us that efforts can come from different places in our country. The second thing I would like to point out is that it is not, MexSIAM, it is not an exclusive thing of mathematicians. It is a place where other sciences, or moreover, industrial people has an important role within this community. We need to keep looking to search how to merge academics and industry with a mathematical core, such that we can come with an ever-growing knowledge of our world. To me, we have to erase the idea of just pointing the importance of mathematics. What we really need is to teach others to live within the potential of mathematics. This event, to me, is another forward step to this goal. We not only need to change, we not only need a change of mentality, but a change in identity. Being said that, I just want to say welcome to this event and hope you can have a good and fruitful time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And it would be the turn now for Miguel Angel Moreles, our head of the local organizing committee, to give us his message. Thank you, Miguel.
Thank you, Pedro. There is my favorite book on functional analysis, and there is a quote that says, "What is an applied mathematician?" So, okay, an applied mathematician is a mathematician that lives in the street. So I'd like to invite my colleagues, the students that want to be mathematicians or mathematicians, to go on the streets to see the problems where they are in physics, in medicine, in engineering, everywhere, and talk to other people, talk to your physicists, talk to doctors, talk to engineers, because there are a lot of problems out there that require mathematics, that require collaborations, that require to build a bridge of communication between many scientists. And this pandemic is teaching us that the ball is in our side. We scientists have to show the world, our authorities, that we can collaborate, that we can contribute, that we can give solutions. That's why when Gerardo invited me to co-host this MexSIAM event here at CIMAT, I said yes enthusiastically, because SIAM is a great forum to give these ideas, to spread these ideas throughout the academic sector. And I would like to finish to say first by saying that the calling has been successful. We have participants not only from mathematics, but we have physical oceanographers, we have physicists, we have, of course, mathematicians, we have computer scientists. So this is a multidisciplinary event, and I hope you will not be seeing me this day, because if you do it, because I have to put some fires off. Okay. I want to thank in advance the CIMAT staff that they have been working very hard to put this event together. They are here to help you. Please go to them if you need assistance. Okay. And enjoy the meeting. Thank you.
Well, it is time now to leave, but we wish to thank you, your presence here, our registered assistants via Zoom, and of course our audience in YouTube. Thank you very much. And we certainly invite you to follow the plenary talks through this same channel. We wish you the best of meetings. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Hasta luego a todos, eh? Goodbye and thank you to everybody.
Bye-bye.